Okay then, having shown you my previous experience with a Sony Xperia E and how well I didn't get on with that, I thought I'd show you the phone I replaced it with, which is the Sony Xperia M2. We'll have a quick look at the outside. You've got a forward, or is it back, facing camera? I don't know which they call forward and which they don't. I guess that's a light sensor. There's your speaker, phone speaker thing. You've got other speakers on the bottom, and is that the mic? I don't know. On the side here, this is critical to me. You got the micro SD card slot. You've also got your SIM slot there. This, unlike say an Xperia Z, is not waterproof. That on the Z I believe has a rubber seal on it. This, there is no rubber seal. So you've got this button here, which I really like. That's like power on and off. It's also you push it and it brings your backlight on and off. I like that. It took me a little bit of getting used to after using an iPhone for so long, but I like it. Volume rocker, camera. Press it once to activate the camera. From like standing start, if you like. You don't have to swipe and... Come on then. Here we go. Make a liar of me. I didn't press it properly. Perhaps it's not especially responsive. No, it's just being a dick and making a liar of me. Fine. How about now then? There we go, you see. Yeah, so you don't have to do all the swiping and find the camera app and stuff. You obviously have to activate your screen. And then it acts as a shutter button, which is cool. I did think it did it all from yes, it does. Sometimes. It is cool when it works, if you're a person who uses a camera a lot. But if you were a person who uses a camera a lot, you wouldn't use this phone anyway as a camera. We'll get on to that later. On the other side, we have the micro USB slot for powering and data transfer. What's on the back, front, whatever, I don't know which you call the back and which you call the front. I'm just, yeah, okay. Camera, flash, LED flash, microphone, I guess, and that is the outside. Specifications. Okay, let's. It does 2G, 3G, 4G. There's a whole lot of numbers there that I have no idea what they mean. I'm reading this off a screen anyway. Takes a micro SIM, so I was upgrading from a iPhone 3GS, and they didn't include a SIM when they sent me this phone. They, I guess, thought I was going to take the SIM out of my iPhone. Well, duh, because that wasn't a micro SIM, so I then had to go into a shop and blah. Anyway, dimensions, blah, boring. It's the same size as an Xperia Z. You know, it's kind of big in the hand compared to an iPhone, and indeed compared to the E. I got the E initially because I liked that it was small. So when I got this M2, I thought, oh, that's big, that's going to be uncomfortable. It's not uncomfortable. It's actually very... Is it very comfortable? No, but it feels okay. You can use it one-handed if you want to. It's nice and responsive and stuff, which is good. I didn't want to do that. It is awkward in the pocket. It's got to be said. That's where a smaller phone, I think, comes in much better. If you keep your phone in your pocket, and I do, I have a leather case for it that I keep it in to protect it so I don't trash it. But the size of it, I find, in terms of using it day to day, it being a bit bigger, I really like. The iPhone was a bit fiddly. I generally, if I wanted to do anything, any kind of browsing or whatever, I was like, stuff this. I'd either come upstairs and use my computer, or I would use my Tesco Huddle. Android tablet. But this, no, I use this for all kinds of stuff where I wouldn't previously have bothered. That little bit of extra size makes a lot of difference. Screen, well, what can I say about that? It is a, I'm looking for the size of it now, 4.8 inch screen, TFT, capacitive touchscreen. It's very nice and responsive. Resolution is 540 by 960, so not high definition, technically speaking, and reviews I've read make a big deal about this. They say, you know, you can get other phones for the same price with a better screen. things like the Moto G. Yes, you can. The Moto G, though, doesn't have the micro SD card, and that for me was absolutely essential. I know the new 4G Moto G whatever thingamajig has micro SD card, so that might be a different story. But anyway, but okay, there's no super duper high definition screen on here, but honestly, really, seriously, without just being a specs nerd, does it matter? Those icons, the writing, you can read them. They're not super duper jaggy. I imagine, yes, you can get higher resolution, but so what? I find it, I don't understand the fuss about the screen in terms of resolution. I think it looks really nice. I don't have any issues with it. I've never had a moment where I thought, oh, I wish that was a bit sharper. What I have had are moments where I've thought, I wish that was a bit brighter and the contrast a bit better in sunlight. It is slightly less visible in really bright sunlight than my iPhone 3GS was, but any phone really, you kind of reach a point where in bright sunlight it's going to be awkward. So yeah, that's the only thing where I thought, that's not ideal. But meh, that's mobile phone screens in the sun. They get tricky. Anyway, what else can I tell you specs wise? Multi-touch, yes. Gorilla Glass 3. Loudspeaker, yes. 3. Oh yes, you got a headphone socket thing there. Yeah, I didn't show you that. Micro SD up to 32 gig. I have a 32 gig micro SD in here because music. I have a whopping great big music collection on here, and I use the Walkman app, which is pretty cool. I'm still getting used to it. Believe it or not, when I listen to music, digital music, I still use Winamp on my computer. I'm used to that. I've got Winamp on here, but it's not the same, so I do use the Walkman app, and it's pretty good. The sound quality on this thing, through the headphones, excellent. Through Bluetooth speaker, well, that's all down to your Bluetooth speaker. Stuttering. Now, the Xperia E, I had a big problem with stuttering. It wouldn't play a tune without breaking up at least once or twice every tune. This thing, if I'm at home, either playing through the speakers or through headphones, stuttering, none, never. It does occasionally stutter if I'm out for a walk and I have the Wi-Fi turned on, because as I walk past people's houses it detects their Wi-Fi and tries to connect or something like that, and that makes the music will just, there'll be a fraction of a second where it stops and then carries on. Solution there is, if you're going for a walk, turn off the Wi-Fi, because it eats the batteries, and really, unless you're using like, well, I use the BT Wi-Fi app, so I can connect to other people's BT Wi-Fis, if they're allowing it, or things like BT Open Zone. Yeah, I can connect to them, but generally, you know, turn the Wi-Fi off, not a problem. Looking at other specs, data, GPRS, Edge, blah blah, blah blah blah. Yeah, it's got all the usual stuff. It goes from 2G all the way up to 4G. I've never used the 4G on it, so I don't know how fast that is. The camera, yeah. Well, it's an 8 megapixel camera, 3264 by 2448, autofocus, LED flash, blah blah blah, does geotagging, face and smile detection, high dynamic range, and a panorama sort of sweep mode thing, which is cool. You've also got that camera there, which is only 480p. I suppose you would use that for video chat stuff. But the camera, yeah, it's 8 megapixel, but honestly, it's not great. The resolution is higher than I was getting from my iPhone 3GS camera, but the actual quality is no better. It's pretty crappy, really. It's fine for taking snaps, you know, out randomly. I use Instagram, and it's fine for that kind of thing, but you wouldn't use it if you wanted to take beautiful photos. It's you know, quick snap and that's it. The high dynamic range mode is kind of kind of cool. And the sweeping panorama thing I actually haven't tried, but it sounds quite cool. I used a thing like that on my iPhone and took some really good photos with that, so I should tinker with it sometime. Operating system, okay, here's a thing. It came with Android 4.3 Jelly Bean. Worked absolutely fantastic, and it has since had an upgrade, which I have installed, to 4.4.2 KitKat, which I found initially responsiveness it improved, but it did some other things which I didn't like. Your settings, you used to just be able to you'd swipe there and it doesn't give you instant access to all your settings. You've got to go through. It takes more clicks to get to what you want, or to get to what I want anyway. But that's actually not what really irked me with it. The thing that pissed me off with the upgrade, I use an app called Avast Mobile, this here, and on it it has a spam blocking feature which lets you block spam calls, you know, your PPI bloody insurance blah crap that you don't want. Phone calls, it lets you block them. It also used to let you block spam SMS text messages. Since upgrading to KitKat, you can no longer block SMS text messages. Why on earth not? Why would they remove that from the operating system? That's not an upgrade, that's stupid. So I don't get that. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, CPU, it's a quad-core 1.2 GHz Cortex A7, some Snapdragon thing, technical stuff, blah, I don't know. It's got an FM radio on it, just like the E did, which I will assume works as well as it did on the E. I haven't actually bothered to use it because I just don't care about listening to the radio anymore. I've got that whopping huge, great, big collection of MP3s on here, and if I'm going out and want to listen to music, I listen to that. The other criticisms that I have read whilst reading reviews about this are of the quality of the phone, audio quality. Well, I've used it, and in all honesty, I don't know what they're talking about. I can hear the person on the other end with no problem. They can hear me with no problem. There are audio enhancement features in the settings and stuff on the phone and whatever, and I've got all the enhancements turned on, noise reduction turned on, all of that, and I don't know what they're talking about. I think it works just fine. Battery, non-removable lithium ion, 2-3,000 blah blah, MAH thingamajig, whatever. I get good battery life out of it. I'll play MP3s like all day, and at the end of the day it's still around a 70 or 80% battery life, and running Twitter is like the main thing I do on here. I don't do an awful lot else. A little bit of browsing every now and then, bit of IMDb while watching the telly. Excuse me, I've got to go and sort out a barking dog. Sorry about that. Dog barking at brat outside on scooter, going up and down. Dog doesn't like kids on scooters. You wanted to know that. Just looking, trying to think, what else can I possibly tell you about this? It works. It's nice and smooth and does everything I would like it to do. It has a cool thing tracking. I know you can do it on other phones, but I just like it on here. My Xperia, it lets you see where your phone is. If it's been nicked, it lets you lock it or wipe it if someone swiped your phone. And the accuracy of it, if you want to see where it is, it shows you where your phone is to the point that you can tell what room they are in their house, or whatever house they're in. I checked the map on it to see where it was, and I could see the Google Maps, whatever, Google Earth view of the house that I'm in, and right down to the room I'm in. You know, it pinpointed where in the house I was, and I thought, my God, that's incredible, and very, very frightening, because obviously people like the NSA and GCHQ can pretty much detect where you are, because you can be pretty sure they'll get into all that kind of data and stuff. Yeah, Big Brother is watching you, and he's snooping on all of your activities and data and God knows what else. Yeah, there's not an awful lot else. I'm probably missing loads and loads and loads of stuff that I ought to tell you. It's got GPS, it's, you know, you can bung your free sat-navs or your paid-for sat-navs. I've got that now free thingy on here. Google Maps Auto Answer, that's a useful thing, where you can make the phone answer itself if you're driving, and it'll go onto speakerphone automatically, you know. Other things, I don't know, there's probably a ton of things I ought to look into, but really, it's a mobile phone. It does everything that you're used to a mobile phone doing. If you're used to Android, you'll be used to this. It's got the Xperia Sony kind of branding and whatnot on it, but it's fairly inobtrusive. You know, backgrounds and general style. It's pretty much standard Android with a little bit of Sony-ness added in for good measure. I do really like this. I mean, I don't know what the Moto G 4G costs, because that is now the equivalent of this. That does everything this thing does, has a better screen, also has a micro SD. Why did I get this and not that? That wasn't available on my contract at the time. But I like this, and I mean the styling, yeah. Someone who's not completely familiar with the range could mistake it for a Xperia Z, because the shape and the style and everything is very much of that ilk, if you like. My stepdaughters both have Xperia Zs. One's got a Z1, one's got a Z2. I've not used either of them, but I don't honestly know what those would do that this doesn't. They'd have a better quality camera, fine. They'd have more powerful processors, but what do I need that for? Where would that come in handy? I really don't know, because I'm not finding any limitations in power on this thing. So, whatever. That is the Xperia M2. It is, to my mind, a good phone. Could you get better for the same price if you were paying actual monies? Yes, you could. Probably the Moto G 4G would be a better phone. But can you get it on your contract for free? I couldn't, so I got this, and I'm very happy with it. Where specs on other phones are higher than this, I really don't notice. So, no. Don't know what else I can say about it, really. So I'll shut up now. Xperia M2, good phone. If you can get it for free, why not? If you're paying, probably not the best, but I don't care. Thank you for watching.